Hey Pacific Academy, my name is Lewis, one of the pastors at Broadway Church. Hopefully you guys are having a good time at home. I just want to share a little message with you, and I'm actually standing in our baptismal tank at Broadway Church. As you can see our logo back there, I'm in the tank, and you can see all the pews behind me. It's a pretty cool view when you get baptized, and I'm not standing in a tank because I'm gonna promote baptism, although I think it's a good idea. I'm standing in a tank because when you get baptized, it's all about making a decision to follow Christ. And so today, I wanna challenge you to make a decision. Not necessarily a decision to follow Christ, although if you haven't made that decision, I recommend you talk to a teacher or a pastor. Hey, you could even message me and I'll walk you through that. But I want to challenge you to make a different type of decision in your life. The story that I'll talk about comes from the book of Judges, and it's a man named Samson. Now, if you know the story, Samson was born under a Nazirite vow, which basically meant he can't cut his hair, which I think we could all relate to that right now, and he couldn't drink any alcohol. It was this vow that he was part of, and he was dedicated to God. Now, the crazy thing about Samson was he was dedicated to God. He had this superhuman strength, but he had this flaw. He had this one thing that he kept messing up and messing up and messing up. And that was his decision in women. Crazy. This godly man, God used him to do amazing things, but his downfall was women. He always chose the wrong women. And this one woman, Delilah, was the end of him. You can read the story for yourself for the book of Judges, but basically she tricks him and she cuts his hair, and basically he's not used to the fullest potential that God wants to use him. And so he needed to make one decision. He needed to make one area of his life stronger. He needed to make better decisions in one area of his life in order to allow God to use him to his fullest potential. And he wasn't able to do that. He wasn't able to choose the right person to date and to marry. And so I want to challenge you today. What's that one thing for you? What's the one thing for you that's holding you back from being closer to God? What's the one thing for you that's holding you back from being used to your fullest potential from God? Maybe it's choosing the wrong person to date. Maybe you find yourself choosing the wrong guy or the wrong girl time after time. Maybe it's your self-esteem where you have all these negative thoughts coming through your head of who you think you are and how bad you think you are. Maybe that's the one thing you need to change, is the thoughts going through your mind. Maybe you need to change the way you talk. Maybe you're gossiping and you're swearing and you're slandering. Maybe you're that person that's always cutting people down as they talk. But there's one thing, at least one thing, in each of our lives that's holding us back from allowing God to use us to our fullest potential. What's that thing for you? My challenge is, don't be like Samson, who didn't deal with his stuff. He didn't deal with his one thing. And God did use Samson. Of course, God still used him for great things, but what could have he been? How could God have used him if he just dealt with that one thing? So what's that thing for you? My challenge is work on it. Deal with that one thing, because who knows how much God can use you if you do. Thanks, guys. Hopefully you have a great time. By the way, my brother's Matthew, Chifan, grade 10. Matt, I hope you're watching. If you're not, I'm going to tell Mom. See you guys.